Welcome back, everyone. Today we continue with the next part of this series called What If Goku Remember the Saiyans? Let's aim for 400 likes on this one. Also, don't forget to leave a comment letting me know if you've enjoyed the series thus far. With that, let's continue. Wolf Fang Fist, Yamcha shouted as he lunged at Android Tao with his signature move. His fists and feet became a blur of rapid strikes. However, Tao effortlessly blocked each attack with calculated precision, his movements almost lazy in their ease. The assassin then launched his counterattack, unleashing a series of brutal kicks and punches that battered Yamcha. With a final, devastating blow to the back of the head, Yamcha crumpled to the ground, unconscious. Krillin assumed a defensive stance, having just recovered from Tao's previous attack. He could feel the immense strength radiating from the assassin. How am I supposed to beat someone this powerful? He thought, fear creeping into his mind. Before Krillin could react, Tao was already in front of him. His fist moved faster than Krillin could see, slamming into his stomach and knocking the wind out of him. Krillin collapsed, gasping for air. Tao loomed over him, a sinister grin on his face. "Now to finish you off," he said, laughing wickedly. Kakarot groaned, buried under rubble, his body battered and bruised. He could hear Tao's mocking words as the assassin stood over Krillin's motionless form. If only I could move, Kakarot thought desperately, straining to find the energy to save his friend. Tao's last attack had drained him significantly. He glanced down, noticing his hand was smeared with blood. His armor was shattered over his abdomen, and he was bleeding heavily from a wound. "I'm in no condition to help," he realized grimly. A memory sparked in Kakarot's mind. He remembered how his injuries had miraculously healed after eating the special bean Korin had given him. "If I can just reach one of those sensu beans," he thought, fumbling at his belt. His fingers found the pouch, and he pulled out a bean, bringing it to his mouth. He chewed and swallowed it quickly. In an instant, Kakarot felt a surge of energy as his wounds vanished. His strength returned, and he pushed the rubble away from his body, standing tall once more. Tao paused, confused as Kakarot rose to his feet. "What? How is that boy still alive? I hit him with my best Dodon Ray." "Leave him alone," Kakarot commanded, floating up to face Tao. "Or what?" Tao sneered. "You can't defeat me. We've already established that. But if you insist, I'll finish you off first. You seem to have a nasty habit of surviving." "You won't win this time," Kakarot declared, feeling stronger than ever. He remembered his father's words about getting stronger after every tough battle. "You don't stand a chance against a true Saiyan warrior," he shouted, charging at Tao and driving his knee into the android's stomach. Tao spat blood as Kakarot's knee connected. He swung his elbow towards Kakarot's face, but the young Sen blocked it effortlessly with his forearm. "How did you get so strong?" Tao demanded, disbelief etched on his face. "I was just beating you senseless a moment ago. You should be dead." "Funny thing about Saiyans," Kakarot replied with a smirk. "The more you beat us up, the stronger we get." He mimicked Tao's earlier move, delivering an earth-shattering elbow strike to the assassin's face. Tao backed away from the blow, shaking the stars from his vision. It was inconceivable that this boy could be this strong. Tao had trained all his life and had even let Dr. Gero turn him into an android, making him nearly twice as powerful as before. Yet this boy, this young Sen, was still defeating him. He knew Dr. Gero was using this time to get as far away as possible. The doctor never fought his own battles. Dr. Gero preferred to plot from the shadows. "If only I could escape and plan with him," Tao thought. He knew the enhancements Dr. Gero had given him were impressive but rushed. Imagine what the doctor could achieve with more time. Tao's thoughts were interrupted by a powerful kick to his chest, sending him sprawling and knocking the breath out of him. The blow was followed by an axe handle to the head, slamming him into the ground and creating a small crater. Kakarot floated above the fallen assassin. "You know, you could at least concentrate and give me a challenge." Tao fumed. The boy's arrogance was infuriating. He charged out of the crater, throwing a flurry of kicks and punches with everything he had. Kakarot laughed, effortlessly blocking Tao's attacks. "Is that all you've got?" he asked, his voice mocking. Panting, Tao backed away. "I'll show you," he yelled. "Dodon Ray," he shouted, unleashing his deadly beam towards Kakarot with all his might. Me, ha, Kakarot chanted, sending his own beam to meet Tao's attack. The Kamehameha wave quickly overpowered the Dodon Ray, washing over Android Tao and leaving no trace of the assassin when the smoke cleared. "That was amazing," Krillin said, struggling to his feet. "I thought we were goners." "Yeah," Yamcha added, patting Kakarot on the back. "Way to hold back and make the fight look good." "I wasn't holding back," Kakarot said seriously. "But he was knocking the tar out of you earlier," Krillin said. "How'd you suddenly turn it around?" "Well," Kakarot began, "after he hit me with his beam, I thought I was dying. Then I ate one of these. Kakarot held up a senzu bean. It healed me and restored my energy. Can I try one? Krillin asked eagerly. Kakarot tossed a senzu bean to his friend. Wow, I feel completely healed, Krillin said after chewing and swallowing the bean. But I don't feel any stronger than before. Oh, Kakarot explained. That's because you're not a Saiyan. When Saiyans get hurt badly by a stronger opponent, they become much stronger after they heal. How does that work? Yamcha asked, skeptical. I'm not sure myself, Kakarot admitted. It must be genetic or something. After a few minutes of searching, Kakarot, Yamcha and Krillin managed to locate the remaining Dragon Balls. I don't see any sign of any more Red Ribbon soldiers, Yamcha said, scanning the area. Yeah, Krillin added. I guess they all fled when they saw Kakarot knocking the tar out of their super soldier. Can you blame them? Bulma said as she joined the group, having come as soon as the fighting stopped. I wouldn't want to be on Kakarot's bad side either. Let's get this over with, Kakarot said, his gaze fixed on the gathered Dragon Balls. Arise, Shenron. The sky darkened, and lightning flashed all around. The lightning struck the Dragon Balls and took the form of a mighty dragon. You who have summoned me, Shenron said in a booming voice, speak your wish and it shall be granted. We wish for Appa's father, Bora, to be revived, Bulma stated firmly. It shall be done, Shenron said before disappearing, scattering the Dragon Balls to the far reaches of the globe. As the Dragon Balls began to scatter, Kakarot leapt up and caught one. Now, the boy said with a grin, if anyone wants to make a wish, they'll have to come see me first. So, where are you going now? Yamcha asked, turning to the young Saiyan. I figure I'll go back and hang out with Bulma, Kakarot said casually. Don't forget there's a tournament coming up in 3 years, Yamcha reminded him. I definitely want a rematch. So you're going back to train more with Master Roshi? Bulma asked. Yeah, I think there's still a lot I can learn from the old man, Yamcha said, then turned to Krillin. You want to come back with me? I could use someone to spar against. Sure, Krillin said, nodding. I'm not much of a match for Kakarot anyway. I may stand a better chance against you and Master Roshi. Sweat dripped down Kakarot's forehead as he finished his 10,000th push-up. Over the past few months, he had been training at Capsule Corp. Hey, strong guy, a voice interrupted his push-ups. Bulma walked into the room and smiled. She loved coming in and watching Kakarot train. How about you take a break for a little while? She suggested to the young Saiyan. Kakarot hopped to his feet and wiped the sweat off his brow with a towel. What did you have in mind? Oh, I don't know, Bulma started. We could go for a walk in the park and then get dinner. Kakarot's ears perked up at the mention of food. Yeah, he said eagerly. That sounds like fun. Then go take a shower and get some normal clothes on, and we'll go, Bulma said, smiling at the young Saiyan. 3 years passed quickly, and the day of the tournament soon arrived. Kakarot stretched as he exited the jet copter. Turning back to the vehicle, he grabbed the hand extended from inside and helped Bulma out of the jet copter. I wonder where everyone is, Bulma said, looking around. I'm not sure, Kakarot said, searching the crowd himself. I'm sure they'll turn up. Kakarot walked up to the registration desk. I'd like to enter the tournament, he told the attendant. All right, the man said, looking up from his clipboard. Can I get your name? Kakarot, the Saiyan stated flatly. Oh, the man said, his eyes widening. You're the returning champion. I remember seeing you fight in the last tournament. You were awesome. Thanks, Kakarot said with a grin. There you are, Master Roshi said, walking up behind Kakarot and Bulma. Yamcha and Krillin stood beside the old master, dressed in the traditional turtle school attire. Long time no see, Yamcha said, grinning. I hope you've been training hard these last few years. I've been doing some training, but not as much as I'd like, Kakarot replied, rubbing the back of his head sheepishly. By not as much as he'd like, he means only about 10 hours a day, Bulma interjected, rolling her eyes playfully. What have you been doing with all your time then? Krillin asked, curious. Oh, Bulma said, blushing slightly. We've been hanging out and spending some time together. So, you guys are together now? Yamcha asked, raising an eyebrow. Bulma's blush deepened. It's not like that. She started to protest. Yes, Kakarot said bluntly. We're dating if that's what you're asking. Well, that ruins our fun, Krillin said with a chuckle. Yeah, it's only funny if he's embarrassed, Yamcha added, laughing. Well, a voice said from behind them. What have we here? The voice belonged to an old man in a martial arts uniform, adorned with a hat that had a giant crane on it. He was accompanied by 2 students, one tall and bald with 3 eyes, and the other short with a white painted face, both wearing similar uniforms. It looks like Roshi and his band of losers, the old man sneered. The only reason your pupil won the last tournament was because we weren't there. This year, we'll all be entering to beat you and your school once and for all. With that, the 3 turned and walked away. Who was that? Krillin asked, puzzled. That was Crane Hermit, Roshi replied. We were both students of the same teacher, but we had a falling out several years ago. What happened? Bulma asked, intrigued. Crane was a merciless opponent, Roshi explained. He'd stop at nothing to win. He abused his power over others and bullied people to get his way. But the real falling out came when his first student decided to use what he'd learned to become a murderer for hire. Wait, Kakarot said, realization dawning. Was his first student named Tao? Yes, Roshi confirmed. He was also Crane's younger brother. He was as ruthless as his master. Yeah. We ran into him a few years ago, Yamcha added. Really? Roshi asked, surprised. Yeah, Krillin replied. He was working for the Red Ribbon Army, and Kakarot knocked the tar out of him. This can't be good, Roshi said, his tone serious. Crane and his students won't rest until they get revenge for this. Are you ready for a tournament? The announcer said into the microphone, his voice booming through the arena. We have an all-star lineup for you today. The preliminary rounds had gone by quickly, with no big surprises. Our matchups will be as follows: Yamcha vs Tien, Pamput vs Master Roshi, Krillin vs Chiaotzu, Kakarot vs Master Shen. This promises to be a great tournament. Both the Turtle School and the Crane School have many members in this fight. Which school will come out on top? Ladies and gentlemen, the announcer's voice boomed across the arena. Our first match is about to begin. In one corner, we have a returning tournament participant, Yamcha. Facing off against Yamcha today is a member of the Crane School of Fighting and student of the Crane Hermit, Tien. Yamcha stood firm, eyeing his opponent, Tien, across the ring. The Triclops was stoic, his demeanor unreadable, making Yamcha's task of finding a weakness all the more difficult. It was clear that Tien was skilled, but just how skilled was yet to be revealed. Ready, fight, the announcer declared. In a flash, Yamcha and Tien dashed at each other, launching a flurry of kicks and punches. Each fighter skillfully blocked and dodged, neither gaining a clear advantage in the opening moments. Their fists moved like lightning, testing each other's defenses. After a few intense exchanges, they broke apart, both breathing a bit heavier. Not bad, Yamcha said, panting slightly, a hint of admiration in his voice. You're stronger than I expected, Tien admitted, wiping sweat from his brow. Given your training, I thought I could toy with you. Looks like I'll have to take this seriously. You talk too much, Yamcha shot back, a smirk on his face. You won't stand a chance against my Wolf Fang wind attack. Bring it on, Tien replied, bracing himself. Yamcha charged, his fists glowing with energy as he unleashed a rapid barrage of punches. Tien struggled to keep up with the speed and ferocity of the attack, eventually succumbing to the relentless blows. He was sent flying across the ring, landing hard on his back. Moments later, Tien got back on his feet, a small trickle of blood running from his mouth. I didn't expect any of Roshi's students to be this strong, Tien muttered, more to himself than anyone else. Is that all you've got? He called out, trying to mask his pain. I barely felt that. You're a terrible liar, Yamcha taunted. Let's see how you handle this, Tien said, clenching his fist. Multiform. With a shout, Tien's body split into 4 identical clones, each possessing a quarter of his original power. The 4 Tiens moved to the corners of the ring, surrounding Yamcha and attacking from all sides. Kicks and punches came at Yamcha from every direction. He managed to block and dodge most, but some strikes began to land as his concentration was spread thin. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcer exclaimed, Tien has split himself into 4 and is attacking Yamcha from all directions. I need to do something, Yamcha thought, or this won't end well. Kamehameha, Yamcha shouted, sending a blue beam of energy at one of the Tiens. The blast sent the clone flying back, momentarily reducing the number of attackers. Now with 3 Tiens to contend with, Yamcha could better manage the onslaught. He dodged a punch from one Tien and countered with an elbow to the stomach, doubling the clone over. But before he could capitalize on the opening, another Tien was already on him, forcing Yamcha to dodge again. It's time to finish this, Tien thought. All at once, all 4 Tiens brought their hands up to their faces. Solar flare, they all shouted in unison. In an instant, a blinding light erupted, causing Yamcha to lose his vision. Taking full advantage, the teens pummeled the blinded warrior mercilessly. One of the teens delivered a powerful uppercut to Yamcha's stomach, sending him flying into the air. Before Yamcha could react, another Tien appeared above him, smashing him down with a double-fisted axe handle into the hard ground below. Tien quickly dropped the multiform technique and stood triumphantly above Yamcha, who was now lying motionless on the stage. Before Yamcha could muster the strength to get up, Tien dove down, driving his foot into Yamcha's leg with a sickening crunch, snapping the limb. Well, the announcer said, his voice filled with concern, It appears that Yamcha is unconscious and badly hurt. Being unable to continue the fight, Tien is the winner. Kakarot rushed onto the stage, kneeling beside his fallen friend. Checking Yamcha's pulse, he sighed in relief, realizing Yamcha was still breathing. "Ah, how sweet," Tien sneered. "The losers care about their teammates." Kakarot's eyes burned with fury as he glared at the Triclops. "You are going down when you face me," the young Saiyan declared. Tien laughed dismissively. "You really think so? If your friend couldn't beat me, what makes you think you can? I'm stronger, and I won't fall for your tricks," Kakarot replied firmly. "You will lose. You gained nothing from breaking his leg. Your dirty tactics won't help you win the tournament." A few hours later, Kakarot, Bulma, Krillin, and Master Roshi stood around Yamcha's hospital bed. The warrior now had his leg in a cast. "Are you okay?" Bulma asked, her voice full of concern. "I'll be all right," Yamcha said, wincing slightly. He turned to Kakarot. "Promise me you will beat him." "What about me?" Roshi interjected. "I'll fight him before Kakarot." "No offense, old man," Kakarot said with a smirk, "but I wiped the floor with you last time, and I'm almost twice as strong now. I'm more likely to beat him than you are." He turned to Yamcha, a small smile on his face. "I think this might make you feel better." He tossed a senzu bean to the ex-bandit. "Now, ladies and gentlemen," the announcer started, his voice rising with excitement. "Our next match is about to begin. In one corner, we have a man who needs no introduction. He's an action star and has won every tournament he's ever been in. You know him, you love him. It's Pamput. Facing off against Pamput is a legend in martial arts himself, who took second place in the last tournament before losing to one of his own students, Master Roshi. I'll make this quick," Pamput boasted confidently. "I won't waste more than 30 seconds of my time beating you. Ready? Fight!" the announcer declared, signaling the beginning of the match. Pamput charged at Roshi, unleashing a flurry of kicks and punches. However, the old martial arts master effortlessly dodged them all, showing no concern over the match. 30 seconds quickly passed with Pamput failing to land a single blow on Roshi. "I thought you were going to beat me in 30 seconds, Roshi teased, shooting a fist into Pamput's midsection. The prizefighter and action hero crumpled to the ground, unconscious. "Pamput is out cold," the announcer declared. "Master Roshi is the winner." "That was quick," Yamcha remarked, now seated in the stands with his friends. The senzu bean had completely healed his leg. "Yeah," Kakarot agreed beside him. "Was there ever any doubt who would win this one?" "Not really," Yamcha admitted with a chuckle. "Next up, we have Krillin versus Kaozu," the announcer called out. Krillin stood facing his opponent, who was the same size as him. He didn't know how strong Kaozu was and regretted not paying more attention to the other fighters' matches in the preliminaries. "Ready? Fight!" the announcer shouted. Kaozu floated a few inches off the ground and flew toward Krillin, launching a series of kicks and punches. Krillin blocked or dodged most of the blows with ease and shot his leg forward, connecting a hard kick to Chaozu's head and sending him reeling back in pain. "How's he so fast?" Tien muttered to himself. He knew Kaozu had been trying to end the fight quickly and hadn't been holding back much. Yet Krillin was unfazed. Chaozu picked himself up off the ground and dusted off his uniform. That last kick had hurt, and he hadn't seen it coming. Only Tien or the Crane Master had ever caught him off guard like that. He'd underestimated Master Roshi's students. Jolted back to reality, Kaozu saw Krillin charging with a punch ready. Quickly, he pushed his energy below him and floated high into the air to avoid the attack. Krillin looked up at Kaozu floating above the stage. He'd seen Kakarot use his energy to fly before but had never learned the technique himself. Now he wished he had. He knew he could beat Chaozu, but a jump attack was risky against an opponent who could fly. "Dodon Ray!" Chaozu shouted, sending a beam of yellow energy at Krillin. The young monk jumped out of the way with practiced ease. "I see his plan," Krillin thought. "He thinks he can stay up there and shoot at me like a fish in a barrel." "That attack," Yamcha said to Kakarot, "isn't that the same one Mercenary Tao used against you?" "Yeah," Kakarot replied, "that's the one." "What's that?" Tien asked, overhearing their conversation. "You fought Tao." "Yeah," Kakarot said. "He was working for the Red Ribbon Army and tried to kill me. Let's just say he was unsuccessful." "So, you killed him?" Tien asked, his voice tense. That's it for this episode, guys. If you've watched to the end, then that may be an indication that you enjoy the episode, so please drop a like so the video could reach more people. See you in the next episode. Take care.